What's my intro? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Saucy McPoodlefist, and today we are playing Doki Doki Literature Club. In the last one, holy freaking crapoli, we rejected Sayori's interest of love and she ended up hanging herself and the game ended. And we're starting, I don't know if we're starting a new game or if this is all just one game, but it got glitchy. And I know that that's a part of the game. I'm assuming that's a part of the game. But we're back in the literature club, and this time Monica asked us to join the literature club. And here we are. So let's get started. I'm back. And I brought a guest with me. Girl 1. A guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Oh wait, crap. I didn't start my timer. Hold on, everybody. Gotta start the timer. Okay, this is going to be a little bit longer of an episode because I didn't start the timer, but that's okay. Hold on. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Saucy. Saucy? Hope that was... All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Saucy in a classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monica? Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know... Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Saucy? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow from this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have really worked hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, a hot cup of tea helps you enjoy a good book. I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Saucy, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga, I muttered quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. No, not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The levels of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read horror books once, or a horror book once. I desperately grasp at something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Oh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Well, what? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. That was the last of my monster, by the way. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back! Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have any writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for you, Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Hey, I never said I was going to be a member of this club. I'm just visiting. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you agree as well, Saucy? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. See? That's what I just said. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought, These girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Saucy. The thing is, we don't have enough members to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. Excuse me. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. Be doing it for the puss. You know, I don't know about that. I wouldn't join this boring-ass poem club just because they were cute girls. Maybe when I was in high school. I take that back. If I was in high school, I would probably do the same thing. So, I can't blame myself. One by one, the girl's eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Saucy? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Saucy, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. Okay, so where is Sayori? Okay, don't spoil it for me, but I'm just wondering, is Sayori not with us anymore? Where is Sayori? Anyway. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Saucy, I look forward to seeing you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of anxiety welling up inside of me if the rumors about this game are true, which is remain to be seen. I mean, I'm not that disturbed by Sayori's demise, but maybe it gets more disturbing. I have no idea. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure my good fortune will find me. You know, I'm not so sure good fortune is going to find us if what just happened is any indication of what's going to happen in the future. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Okay, here we go. More poem writing. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Why would I say no? Like, honestly, why would I say no to that? Elias, is there a reason why I should say no to that? All right. Well, I'm gonna say yes. I'll give you 10 seconds to respond. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Stare at the dot to reveal a special message. I love you. Okay, here we go. As of recently, I've been writing darker poems, except for my last one, which was a lighthearted poem. And because I was trying to impress Sayori, I will admit, I've gone back and forth on Sayori, but overall, I still think of her as just a friend. God rest her soul. If she's dead, I don't know. I'm just gonna go and do like a middle poem, like Dazzle, Starscape, Aura, Shiny, Atone, Email, Covet, Music, Lazy, Philosophy, Disarray, Essence, Candy, Boop, Daydream, Universe, Contamination, Kawaii, Sugar, Mouse. Hi again, Saucy. Glad to see you didn't run away on us, huh? Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. Excuse me. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Uh-oh. Thanks for keeping your promise, Saucy. Hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. Why is she so uppity? You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the classroom. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Saucy. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway. Now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in the club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Well, wait. I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not like that, Yuri. I want to be able to be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. Okay, so this is like deja vu. I mean, we've already been through this with Yuri, I think. I'm pretty sure. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. But this is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off the scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. See, she likes those. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I just wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have two copies of the same book. Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. Oh, Jesus Christ. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Saucy? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into these things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. And horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Damn. Then suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body, okay, what? I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. So sorry. I was just bothering... What? Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide to my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. it feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here, Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I did the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page? Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. Oh, and that's the timer going off. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about? Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came to my head. Haha. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest, as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? That's my phone going off. Alright, we are going to end the episode off here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Or don't. I don't give a shit. And I'll see you all in the next one. And, goodbye everyone.